guys, welcome to practice. I am honored to guide you through a Vinyasa class today in the comfort of my living room, and you will not need any props for today, just your yoga mat and an open mind and attitude as we focus on opening up our hips today and getting some low back relief. Much needed after all of this time sitting and lying down in our homes. So come and join me on the mat in a crisscross applesauce pose, and I will see you there. Let's do it. Find yourself comfortable in Sukhasana as your legs crisscross and you lean back on both sits bones nice and even. From here, as you inhale, feel your spine lengthen, and as you exhale, light tuck of your chin in towards the chest, you'll turn your palms face up as we start to ground and arrive to our practice space. Start class today with gratitude for the discipline that it takes to arrive onto the mat and to have scheduled time in your day to do so. This is more often than not the most challenging part of our practice. And so as you sit here and leave your worries behind, your to-do list, your itinerary for the day, and choose the present moment. We seize the present moment today. When your mind starts to wander, be proud that you've noticed and come back to a seat of awareness. I love finding awareness by noticing the sounds that you can hear. Airplanes, chirping birds, a washing machine, your breath, your kiddos. Take note of what you can hear. As you take a deep breath, listen to the body. Inhale and open mouth. Exhale. As you listen and fine-tune your ear to the pops and cracks that your body makes today. If deep breath helps you unlock your spine, may it be a reminder for you to take nice steady breaths and switch out your legs. So opposite crisscross, lean back in your stance. Drop your right ear down to your shoulder. As you close your eyes, this is where you'll unclench your legs and notice that your body is staying symmetrical in your seat. Just the neck is moving. Do your best. Inhale, head comes back to center. Shoulders stay put. As you exhale, head drops down to the other side. Tall and proud to be here. Let your collarbones flare open. Bring your head back to center. Take a breath in. Chin in towards the chest as you breathe out. Chin up towards the chest. Then you'll start to look up towards the sky, but you're not dumping all of your weight into your neck. Keep an active, long throat. Lift your chin and think of this more as a front of the line stretch with your throat and less of a collapse in the back of your neck. Lift, lift, lift. Active belly, your head and neck are active, holding yourself up instead of dumping your weight. 3, 2, and 1. Head comes back to center. center. Bring your hands to heart center as you set your intention for practice today. Perhaps you would like to dedicate your practice to someone. Now is a great time to think of their face and give them a hug. Send them some love, for we do not need to socially distance ourselves from that love beam, that hug that you're giving to that person that means the most to you. And if you are looking for a intention today and no one comes to the forefront of your mind, if it seems forced, then I offer you clear and conscious communication for the rest of the day, starting with yourself, and then in turn with everyone else that you communicate with for the day. And then those that you communicate with continue on the clear and conscious legacy as they are inspired to communicate consciously for the rest of their day too. We honor the ripple effect. Bring your hand up to the forehead, inhale. Bow to your practice as you exhale. Gentle on the low back. Use a tight core. Don't just press into the knees. Find your seat and join me in a tabletop pose for a few rounds of cat and cow. No lazy cat and cows today. I want you to feel them. So breath out, look up. Breath in, round the spine, push the ground away from you. Let's take 10. You've got 3 more to take. Vinyasa means breath to movement. So focus on moving with the flow of your pranayama. And those of you that are able to breathe Ujjayi pranayama, you're breathing in and out through your nose the best you can. If that's distracting you, then I would just focus on aligning breath to movement. Don't worry about your nose or your mouth for now. Your right leg will extend out nice and long. And what to do with this left foot, that's yogi's choice. You can tuck your toe if you're feeling wobbly. If you need more of a challenge, you're pressing the top of your foot into the floor. Right leg stays nice and long. As you exhale, press into the palms, tiger's pose, knee to nose. Look towards your knee. Imagine it tapping your forehead. Give your knee a kiss. Inhale, extend the leg out nice and long. Exhale is to back bend and point the toe. Inhale, straighten the leg, look down. Exhale, tiger's pose, knee to nose. Inhale, leg nice and long, back is flat. Back bend, exhale, bend the knee. Let's meet in our floating tabletop. You've taken a few rounds of that lovely variation. Your spine will not have a dip in it, so no back bend this time. I know you're feeling the effects of the pose. Bend at your right knee, and with your toe, you'll imagine tapping the ceiling. You are not dipping your spine best you can, so press into your right hand as much as your left. Feel the fire of the pose. Suck the belly button in. 3, 2, and 1. Knee down to the floor. Take any wiggles that you might need. The wiggles in between I will refer to as our counter pose. So if your body's telling you, I gotta do something before we switch sides, please feel free to do so. Counter stretches. That would include any bending in the wrists, the opposite direction of where we were folding. That can also include pressing the hips forward if you need to take the bend out of the hips, out of the knees. As we get ready to switch sides, these poses can also be taken on your fists. Put yourself first. If the fists don't work for your wrists either, come down onto your forearms. I'm going to take this next variation on my forearms to show you how you can do it. Palms are face down. Choose what you like. Spine's long, left leg nice and long. Flex the toe, take an inhale. Tiger's pose, knee to nose. You're pressing into your elbows if you're on the forearms. Look towards your knee. 3, 2, and 1. Re-extend the leg. Start with the back flat. Then bend at the knee. Chin lifts up towards the top of the mat. Back bend. Inhale. Look at the floor. Exhale. Tiger's pose. Inhale, leg long, bend at the knee, back bend. Inhale, leg long, tiger's pose, knee to nose. Take it away, 2 more. Neutral spine. Straighten your left leg and hold yourself accountable. Really long neck, lots of space between your shoulders and your ears. You'll bend at your knee, take a few small pulses, and keep your back as strong as you can. Use your fingertips here, not just your wrists are pressing into the floor. Unclench your teeth. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the pose. Widen your knees. Let's take a child's pose, Balasana. Forehead to the mat. Three rounds of breath in your child's pose to go. These are strategic breaths. Unlock your spine with your pranayama. It's the best way to do so. No force, just breath. Inhales, spine nice and long. Exhale, drop your belly, your face down to the floor. Inhale, crawl the fingertips forward, reach a bit longer. Exhales to bow, child's pose. Spring into your tabletop. I'll meet you on the hands and knees. As we flow through our Vinyasa today, you are welcome to modify. If you're modifying your Vinyasa, let's go through it. Walk your hands forward, drop the hips nice and low. This is your high plank. Breathe in. Low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog will hold here. Feel free to roll onto either side. Our first up dog of the day. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift the hips nice and high. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, look at your belly button. Twice more, breath in, look up. Exhale. exhales, look down. Last one. High plank pose. Take an inhale. Low plank as you exhale. Toes untuck. Upward facing dog. Breathe in. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana. You'll walk your hands and feet a bit closer together. Once your feet are hips width apart, expectant mamas, you'll need wider room for baby. Breath out, drop your head to the floor. Whatever you choose to do with your hands, it's a loving embrace. Your hands are extensions of your heart as you hold on to the mat, your toes, your shins, the back of your head, the same way that you would hold on to a loved one. A little less tight, a little less grip, head down. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Press into the palms, straighten the spine, inhale. Fold forward, breathe out. Arms sweep overhead, extended mountain pose we go. Samastitihi, hands melt through to heart center. I'll turn towards ya. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Arms sweep overhead, take a breath in. And hands through to heart center, Samastitihi. We take a baby eagle pose, not as in depth and not as deep as the full expression. Your right leg is going to cross over your left. This is a great place to start. You've got a little bend in your knees and you're trying to squat here. Your left sole of the foot will stay on the floor. You're gonna sink as low as you can and you're gonna keep your kickstand on the mat for now. Crouch low, check your hips, be sure that they feel nice and square. The back of your spine is nice and long. So instead of sticking your booty out, you're gonna round your tailbone in, a little thrust towards the front of the room. Start with hands at heart center, find a focal point. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Airplane, breathe out. Inhale, isolate the arms. Exhale, airplane. Breath in, reach up. Exhale, airplane. Arms overhead, last one. Airplane, breathe out. You'll reach the arms overhead, keep your left foot on the floor. Let's rise to one-legged mountain pose. Right leg is nice and flexed, arms overhead, you'll breathe in. Back bend as you exhale. See what you can do. Chin lifts up to the sky, legs stay the same. Imagine your foot pressing into a step. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Left hand reaches forward, right hand drops back. We're taking a twist. You're welcome to bring your hand onto your hip as you take your peek behind you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Twist back to center, bring the arms overhead, find your mountain pose, breathe in. Back bend, exhale. Back to center, mountain. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, prepare to flow. Plant the palms, high to low plank, breathe out. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, 5 rounds of breath. You've got this. Unclench your teeth. Take a little bend in your knees. Push, push, push into the hands. Let's hang out. Look to the top of the mat first, see where you're going, then walk your feet together, hands together, forward fold, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, breathe in, fold forward, exhale. Arms sweep overhead, breath is in, hands to heart center, Samastitihi. We get ready for the next round. Your left leg is crossing on top of your right. So seal your right foot down. It's still pointing to the front of the room. Get your wiggles out. And on the side here, you can probably see me sticking out my booty a bit better. Instead of sticking the booty out, you've got a little bit of a scoop in the tailbone. That's going to keep your chest lifted instead of dumping all of your weight into the low back. So scoop. Find your kickstand and start here. Hands at heart center, soft focal point. Let the forehead go. The mind will be tempted to wander, but we're too busy taking breath to movement. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Airplane, exhale. 3 more. One-legged mountain. One-legged tada, as we might say. Try out your back bend. Think of pressing into that step. Your hips are nice and square. If you can't keep your arms overhead, hold on to your hips and then lift your chin up towards the sky. 3, 2, and 1. Back to center, look forward, reach your right hand forward, sweep your left hand back. We take our twist. And breathe, right? Stable yogis. Back to center we go. Arms sweep overhead, find your one-legged mountain, hold here, see what you can do, then plant the foot, fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in, plant your palms, step back, take your Vinyasa flow. I will meet you in downward facing dog. We start on the right side. Inhale, right leg high, 3-legged dog with any movement that you see fit. Our first 3-legged dog of the day. Step your right foot through between your hands. Find low lunge and hold. We take this first round slow. We'll be holding each pose for 3 rounds of breath. Left heel nice and high for crescent. Inhale, arms sweep overhead, Anjaneyasana. Full expression, arms are overhead. Let's check on our knee. As you exhale, bow forward, look down at the toe. If I were standing behind you, I would pull on your wrists. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, arms sweep overhead, crescent pose. One-legged Tadasana, left leg to the top of the mat. Take a breath in. Back bend as you exhale. Back to center, cross your left leg over your right and find your seat. Stay here. 3, 2, and 1. Keep the legs crossed. Straighten your legs. Breathe in and fold forward on the exhale. You'll see my couch is right here. Perhaps you have a piece of furniture or a chair that you can lightly hold on to as you get a good stretch in your calf right away. Your right foot will stay on the floor. You can lift your left heel as much as you need to take this fold. come out of the pose safely. Sink into your eagle legs. Sweep the arms overhead. One-legged mountain pose. Left leg lifts. Breathe in. Left hand drops behind you. Take your twist. Open your heart. Come back to center. Breathe in. Crescent pose. Kick the foot back. Find Anjaneyasana. Breathe in. Back bend as you exhale. Back to center. Listen up. Hands drop down to the floor. Right leg high. Three-legged dog. Tiger's pose. Knee to nose. Hold. 3 seconds. Then straighten your right leg. Bring the edge of your foot to the left side of your mat. Left hand comes nice and high for this variation of our fallen star. You're welcome to drop your right knee on the floor if you need it. 3, 2, and 1. Hand down to the mat. Start in high plank. Breathe in. Low plank as you exhale. Upward dog. Breathe in. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Widen the knees. Breathe in. Child's pose as you breathe out. Time to restore your pranayama. You're still in your child's pose legs, but you'll press into your hands and we'll thread the needle from here. My expectant mamas, I have a cue for you, and tight shoulders. This includes you as well. Normally in thread the needle, we're in tabletop, but we're gonna keep child's pose legs. Start with your right hand, drape it over your chest and hold. And expectant mamas, you'll fold down to the mat and hold here. You should feel a stretch in your shoulder right away, maybe even looking over to the left. For those of you that want the full twist of your thread the needle, lift your hips up a bit until your shoulder connects, your temples on the floor, and your left hand has some options. Reach forward or reach for your right hip. Out of the pose, you'll unthread your needle. Right hand is no longer draped across the chest. We will switch sides. So left hand, go ahead and grab it and let it drape over your chest. I like to start in my seat first instead of on my hands and knees. It just works better for me. But some of you like to start with your hand on the mat. Left hand high. Exhales to drape yourself down to the floor. Mamas, you can look to the right. Full expressions, lift your hips just a bit. Thread your needle. Three, 2, and 1. Unthread your needle, look up to the sky, and hands down to the mat. Let's get ready to flow. If you'd like to add in another vinyasa, now's the time, or 3 rounds of breath in downward facing dog. See you there. We have a left leg high to take. Inhale, left leg high. Hello, piece of furniture. If you're used to practicing in the Mission Valley Small Studio, then you know all about that bar that you kick every single time you're in the back row. Feels like home. Left leg steps through between the hands. Let's set up for our low lunge and hold. 3 rounds of breath for this first round. We set up for success. You did not come to yoga to rush and get it over with. Find the present moment. Crescent pose, arms sweep overhead, Anjaneyasana. 3 rounds of breath. Unclench your right cheek and let's bow forward as you exhale, airplane. Really long spine, your right knee and your ankle are aligned. I should say your left knee and ankle, but you can check on both. Challenge your balance. Inhale, arms sweep overhead, find your crescent. Step your right foot up to the top of the mat, one-legged mountain pose, and hold. 3, 2, and 1, back bend. 3, 2, and 1, back to center. Seal your left foot down to the floor and find your graceful forward fold into your seat. Generous bend in your knees so that you can find your crisscross legs. Once you sink nice and low, use your kickstand. Inhale, arms sweep overhead, find your eagle legs. Exhale, airplane. One-legged mountain pose. Arms sweep overhead, right leg comes nice and high. Reach your left hand forward, drop your right hand back, take your twist. 3, 2, and 1. Arms overhead, seal the foot down into your crescent pose. Exhale. Eyes up, breathe in, back bend, exhale. Back to center, listen up, hands down to the mat, left leg nice and high, 3-legged dog. Tiger's pose, knee to nose, hold. You can also stay here if you are somewhere in between this and fallen star. Foot to the right, keep your left hand on the floor, right hand comes nice and high. 3, 2, and 1. Hand down to the mat, left leg returns to your down dog. High plank, breathe in. Low plank, exhale. Upward facing dog, take a breath in. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Walk your hands to the back of the mat and let's find our ragdoll pose. Interlace your hands gently, back of the head, forward fold. Hands drop down to the floor, halfway lift, breathe in, fold forward, exhale. Arms sweep overhead, breath is in, back bend as you exhale. Back to center, we rise. Hands to heart center, Samastitihi. Reach your arms overhead and start to draw your halo in the sky. Switch directions, opposite way with your halo. Your flower crown that sits on top of ya. Arms will sweep overhead when you find stillness. Take a back bend as you exhale. Back to center, we rise. Exhale, hands to heart center, samastitihi. Find yourself at the top of your mat. Seal your right foot down to the floor. Step your left foot back. Crescent pose. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Airplane, bow forward. Exhale. Just the arms reach forward. Breathe in. Airplane, exhale. Crescent pose, arms sweep overhead. Open mouth. Left leg shoots. One-legged mountain pose. Breathe in. Exhale, back bend. Look at the sky. Back to center. Breathe in. Cross the legs. Take your hands through to heart center. Eagle pose. Look down to the floor. Airplane your arms behind you. As you inhale, reach the arms overhead. As you exhale, airplane. One more breath in, strengthen the ankles. Exhale, airplane. One-legged mountain pose, left leg high. Left hand drops behind you. Take your twist. Back to center, one-legged mountain pose. Step the foot back. Find your crescent. Breath in to stabilize. Back bend. Exhale. Back to center. We breathe in. Hands down to the mat. Straight away transition. Right edge of the foot to the left side of your mat. Left hand nice and high. 3, 2, and 1. Keep your legs here. Press into your hands and enjoy this funky down dog with the side stretch of your right leg. 3, 2, and 1. Right leg high, inhale. High to low plank, exhale. Chaturanga, Dandasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. I'll meet you in down dog. 3 rounds of breath here. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Find your forward fold. Halfway lift. Breath is in. Fold forward. Exhale. Arms sweep overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. Back bend. Exhale. Back to center. Breathe in. Left leg will stay put. Right leg will lift. One-legged Tadasana. Find your mountain pose. You're doing great. May you stay strong as you get comfortable with the uncomfortable. We're doing it together. Leg is going to kick back as you find your crescent pose. Big inhale. You'll bow forward as you exhale. Just the arms, breath in to reach. Airplane, exhale. Crescent pose, arms sweep overhead. Open mouth. One-legged mountain pose. Right leg nice and high. Breath is in. Back bend as you exhale. Back to center, we rise. Foot drops down to the mat. Find your forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend into your eagle legs. Start with your hands at heart center. This might be plenty for ya. We build on. Airplane your arms. Exhale. Reach. Breathe in. Airplane. Exhale. Reach. Breathe in. Open mouth. Exhale. Right leg high. Find your one-legged mountain. Right hand drops behind ya. Take your twist, do your best. One-legged mountains, we breathe in. Right foot steps back, crescent pose. Look up, breathe in. Back bend, exhale. Back to center, we rise. Hands down to the mat, exhale. Right away, take your right foot, bring it to the left, your left foot to the right edge of the mat. You know what I'm doing, I hope. Right hand nice and high, follow your intuition. Thanks for letting me be human. Look down to the floor and enjoy this funky down dog. Keep your left leg draped over your right. Left leg nice and high. Three-legged dog. High to low plank as you exhale. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Take a breath in. And downward facing dog as you exhale. Great work, my sweaty yogis. Drop down to your knees and take puppy pose. Your knees and hips are in line. Your forehead is dropping down to the floor. You'll press into your hands. I'll see you in a tabletop-like pose. Go ahead and lift your knees off of the mat, or your feet off of the mat, and swivel on your knees. Look at one toe, look at the other. And you'll release your feet, ankles will cross, and you'll take a seat in Sukhasana, easy pose, the same way we started practice, so that you may recalibrate. May you breath in, spine long, exhale, chin rounds in towards the chest. As you take a moment of stillness, what sounds do you hear? What surrounds you? How different does your body feel from the start of practice? Stay at the back of your mat and open your eyes. Let's take a few more hip openers before we proceed. Go ahead and extend your left leg out nice and long. Your toe is flexed and your right leg is going to come into baby cradle. So notice I actually have something back here I can lean on. If you do too, I suggest it for accountability because you don't want to be rounded over. First, you're sitting up tall. If this is plenty of work, you have found your pose. If you're able to hold on to the knee and the ankle, you're going to take your range of motion, rocking your baby in and down, left and right. Maybe a few circles. It's important in this pose to keep both cheeks on the floor. Set your leg down, Janu Sirshasana, head to knee pose. Keep the spine nice and long and walk yourself forward until you can go no further with your long spine and look down at the thigh. Three, two, and one. Nice and tall, right leg nice and long. See how your right leg feels in comparison to your left. As you set up for success, you are sitting on both bones. We've got a baby cradle to take. Hold on to your leg. Give yourself a little rock and cradle. Self-discovery with your hips. See how they feel. See which one feels different than the other. Then set up for Janu Sirshasana. Janu means knee, and Sirshasana means head pose. So we've got a head to knee pose. As you exhale, we head on down. Notice your symmetry. When you start to lean all to the right, you must rock your boat to the left until you feel equal weight in both legs, so you can have a nice symmetrical stretch in your IT band on your left leg and your hamstring on your right. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. To release the pose, both legs out nice and long. Let's take reverse tabletop. Bring the palms onto the floor. Press into the feet or the heels. Inhales to rise. Hips as high as you can. Eyes nice and high. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hips down. Cross at the ankles. Kick into a high plank pose. Breathe in. Low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog. Breathe in. Downward facing dog. Breathe out. Right leg high. Breathe in. Low lunge. Step through. Crescent pose. Arms overhead. Bow forward, airplane. Hands reach forward, breathe in. Airplane, exhale. Crescent pose, arms overhead. Open mouth. Left leg nice and high. One-legged mountain. Breathe in. Back bend. Exhale. Rise. Breathe in. We're taking figure 4. Bring your left ankle to the top of your right, and you'll start to sink low. Notice the difference between booty out and a nice flat long spine. As you exhale, you'll sink lower, and you'll hold on to anything you need. May you stay nice and square. 5, 4, 3, 2, happy to be here. Give yourself a smile. Nobody can see ya. Find a one-legged mountain pose. Take a breath in. Left hand drops behind ya. Find your twist. Exhale. Back to center. Arms overhead. Crescent pose. Kick the leg back. And listen up. We have a pigeon pose to take. Bring your hands down to the mat. Stick your right leg nice and high. 3-legged dog. Then pigeon pose. Raja Kapotasana. Familiar with your pigeon? You deserve to be comfortable in this pose. You can stay on the hands. Unclench that left cheek. And then exhales will lower on down. If your body is properly warmed up, you may take pigeon pose for up to 5 minutes at a time. Just be sure that you have felt the warmth of your blood pumping through you head to toe. This is going to prevent injury so that you are not in pain tomorrow from your pigeon today. So future self thanks you as you take 3 more rounds of breath here. Arrive onto your hands. Re-extend your right leg nice and high. Take a breath in to do so. And breath out, foot down to the floor. Pedal out the heels. Down dogs, we build on. Left leg high. Inhale. Low lunge. Exhale. Crescent pose. Arms up. forward, exhale. Reach forward, breathe in. Airplane, breath out. Crescent pose, arms up. Open mouth. Right leg high, one-legged mountain. Back bend, exhale. Back to center, one-legged. Figure four as you exhale. We have 5 rounds of breath here. Get comfy, foot flexed, spine strong, navel in. Tuck the chin. Your focal point will help you so much during this transition. Find something to look at that won't move on you. And bring your right leg nice and high. Arms sweep overhead. That's the inhale. Take your twist. Right hand swivels behind you. Back to center. Breath is in. Crescent pose. Exhale. Look up. Breathe in. Back bend. Exhale. Listen up. Breathe in. Hands down to the mat. We flow. Left leg high. 3-legged. Graceful pigeon pose on the exhale. Back foot is nice and flat as you mimic the same intensity that you took on the other side. And exhales to lower yourself down. Why do I always remind you of that? Because inhaling while lowering down closes off your airwaves. We breathe best when we lengthen and get longer. We best fold on our exhales when we compress, the muscles tighten and constrict. It's a lifetime practice, so don't be hard on yourself if you've got the breath a little wonky today. As you start to learn Ujjayi Pranayama, just do your best when you remember to activate that breath. 3 rounds here, in through the nose, even out through the mouth. There will be days when you forget about your breath completely in practice. That's okay. Just start to notice what you have been up to today. Were you able to breathe? Our last flow of the day, we give it all we've got. Find your hands, re-extend. Left leg nice and high, 3-legged dog. High to low plank as you exhale. Chaturanga, up dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Widen your stance, feet to the outside edges of your mat. Walk your hands to your feet. Malasana squat. Sink nice and low. Bring your hands to heart center. And let's take a few rounds of breath to warm up. If you need to sway side to side, grab a block. Let's say this pose is a little out of reach for you. You do not want to take this Malasana. No worries. Find your couch. Find your chair. Really wide stance, still pressing, elbows into your knees, take a really flat back and look down towards the floor. Great work, Malasana squats. I spiritually see you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Malasanas, we're coming up to standing, so look up. Press the hands together, let them help you. Inhales to rise. And take a side stretch. Breath out. Back to center, breathe in. Switch sides. Exhale. Back to center, we rise. For a very gentle, wide-legged fold, turn your toes to the front of the room. Up to standing, arms sweep overhead, and hands to heart center, Samastitihi. Let's take our tree poses If you prefer sleeping tree, we are headed to the floor, so you're welcome to head on down. If you would like to remain standing, you've got your left leg sealed to the floor. You've got the right sole of the foot to your calf or to your thigh. I can't look at your knee, but you can. So look down, be sure that not even your toes are digging into the edge of your knee, and bring your hands to heart center. Find yourself nice and tall. We work on lengthening the throat the same way that we did at the start of class. Bring your chin up to the sky and really lengthen as you feel a stretch on this front line. Your right leg will stay off of the mat. Look forward, press your hands to heart center, stick your right leg out in front of you and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, foot down, take a little roll, little counter pose. We switch sides. Right sole of the foot on the floor. If you are a sleeping tree, just use your other leg to extend out long. Grow your branches overhead if you care for it. Find a nice tall stance. Tight navel. Vrikshasana. We lift our chin to the sky. If I were standing behind you, I would push down on your shoulders just to relax your shoulders, and you would tighten your core and stand up nice and tall, pressing against my hands as they push on you. Stable trees. Can you open your knee just a bit further? Deepen the hip stretch, then look forward, press into the hands, left leg nice and long. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, foot down. Time to arrive to the floor. Very well deserved. Get any ponytails or knots out of the way. Enjoy a few rocks and rolls, and I will see you on your spine. Soles of the feet will come onto the floor once you have arrived here. Arms nice and wide like a T. You're pressing into your feet to take the dip out of your low back. If you have a larger derriere, then it's going to be harder for you to press your low back into the mat. So you could always take a blanket or a towel and slip it underneath your backside so that you have more space to tilt the pelvic bone up. Still here. Right leg up the wall. Inhale, Viparita Karani. Flex your foot. How's that low back on the floor? Figure 4 as you bring your ankle onto the thigh. Lift the legs in towards your chest. Take an inhale. And supine twist as you drop your right foot to the floor. Back to center. Right leg nice and high. Breathe in. Right leg down. Breathe out. Left leg high. Breathe in. Figure 4. Breathe out. Legs hug in. Breathe in. Take your twist. Left sole of the foot to the right. Your shoulders stay on the floor. to center we go. Left leg high, breathe in. Foot down, breath out. Both knees into the chest, forehead in towards the knees. Take a tight squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bursting open, we set up for Shavasana. I suggest picking up your head, chin in towards the chest. Lightly rock your head side to side. Remember the clear and conscious communication that you have asked for today. As you surrender to your intention and to your practice, this is Shavasana. And return to consciousness. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Let's take a full body stretch, arms overhead. Knees in towards the chest. The moon is getting smaller, and so we take the left side of our mat for fetal pose. Guide yourself into a seat. The same way that we opened our chapter, we close our chapter. Bookends connect as you bring your hands together for pose. Find a seat of awareness. As you consciously take this moving meditation with you for the rest of the day. I am so honored to guide the teacher in you as you guide the teacher in me. Bowing forward, namaste. Namaste, yogis. Thanks for joining me for Vinyasa. I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.